Hello, so hopefully as usual it sends out a notification because it won't always do it. So yep, this arrived yesterday. Some of you might have seen it in the video I did yesterday. Actually, I'll just put my phone on aeroplane mode while I think of it, because otherwise I'm going to probably start getting messages as soon as I stream and I'll be distracted. So yeah, so this turned up yesterday. It turned up in that video update I did on the DP75 as well, because I just literally did it then. But yeah, really cool retro Geiger counter. Quite common in America, sadly not outside of America. But yeah, thanks, Bevan, you're right. But yeah, I'll demonstrate it in a minute. Only annoying thing with this is when you've got it turned on with the speaker, for some reason the speaker emits a buzz as well as transmitting audio. But the speaker's this bit, because it's got one of those modified things on it. So if I show you, I'll get this tight and then pull this out there. It's got obviously the speaker plug bit there, and then it came with the original headphones, but they're sort of all falling apart due to age and obviously being made pretty cheaply. And then it's got the thing that fits a 3.5mm jack. So you know, you can actually use it with modern speakers. So yeah, I'll tighten that all back up and I'll show you it in a sec. What I'll actually see is if I get some headphones or something, if I can actually run headphones off of it, because I'll probably be a bit less irritating with a drone in the background compared to the big, you know, battery speaker. I'm sure on here I'll have some headphones somewhere. Yeah, here we go. So what I want to do is just get a pair of these. These won't be very good headphones, obviously, because they're just literally like little cheap in-ear ones. And I can't remember if they even still work. But what they should do at least is if it transmits audio for a 3.5mm without needing an external power source, like little speakers shouldn't, you should work fine. Right, General? That's annoying, Richard. Because yeah, obviously, because I'm streaming at this time, not later. Whether or not it will be a late one, I don't know. So yeah, that's the headphones in. Let's have a thing and see if it... Ah, yeah. Yeah, it makes a click, but annoyingly, it sounds quite wimpy through these little speakers. When the clicks through the big speaker that comes with it, which I'll show you in a minute, the clicks are really good. So let me get something to make it click. What cost £600, Beeben, sorry? Yeah, I'd wonder though, would it record that properly? Because of how these work, they're not actually like proper audio outputs. They're piezoelectric like signals, I think. So I don't know what an audio file. I'd try it, but I don't actually know what it would do. So I'm not going to do it on the stream, obviously, because I've already got the mic all set up. All right, Stug. But yeah, let me, and hello, Garrett. Let me put these next to the microphone, even though it's going to be quite quiet, and then I'll get the probe. So that's that. Let me just pop this down. Right, what you might see is behind me, I've been tidying all that. It might look messy at that end, but this end's quite neat now because I got one of those massive... Oh, yeah, those. Yeah, they will be quite expensive because I don't think there's many on the thing. I mean, it's probably going to be where they've got it set to a certain price, and then if it doesn't sell, they might change the price, you know, and carry on until somebody buys it. I don't know, really. But anyway, there's that 84-litre plastic tub that came yesterday. So obviously I put all that stuff in there. So that's a lot neater. And I've got 2 more of those tubs on order. So when I've got those, I should be able to either store loads of stuff neatly on there, or I can clear a space in another room. And, you know, store them all there and make it a lot tidier. Right, anyway, let me get something radioactive for the CDV. It'd be nice if I could get this at an angle where you can actually see it, but annoyingly, I don't think the webcam looks further down without, you know, tilting. What I want to do is actually have it so the bits in frame there, the you know, that bit. As I've said over and over again, when it comes to helmet reviews, gas mask reviews, or whatever, it totally depends if I can find them for a good price or even find them at all. But at the moment, I think I need to save a bit of money because it's Christmas coming up. I have to buy people presents, and I've bought loads and loads of Geiger counter kind of related things at the moment. So I dread to think how much I've spent on Geiger counters and like radioactive check sources and all that recently, but it's probably been close to £1,000. Oh yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you Americans. Again, it's not a thing here, but yeah, but do you know what scale that's on Vrantix? Because if you have it set to a really, really small scale, it will go off all the time because there's always background radiation. Right. Yeah, can't afford that at the moment, Garrett. Oh, he's saying you think you should look at it. Oh, if you're into it, then yeah, it's obviously up to you, though, isn't it? Right, anyway, so this is the probe on it. I've wound the cable round because otherwise it's a really long, irritating cable on this. It's good if you want to obviously move it away from you, but it's not very good if you just want it stored and the probe not falling out. So we'll open the beta shield. So obviously we can take a reading and you can hopefully hear it clicking. And then, yeah, let's get Fiestaware. Oh, I've also found a massive Fiestaware like kettle or something, teapot, for sale. So I've ordered that. So hopefully I can get really high readings off of that. Yeah, that sounds nowhere near as good. It would depend on what it is, Iron Man. Right, so this is the speaker that came with it, and this is a much better speaker, but the annoying thing is because it amplifies the noise coming out of there so much, it makes a droning noise in the background. At the moment, I've just got some Sony headphones plugged in, like little, small ones like this, but they don't sound anywhere near as good. They're not as beefy. So if I put that on there and I do that, obviously, that just sounds like that. To me, that it is for fizzing noise, but obviously it's not as good as the clunk kind of noise you get with the speaker. So let me put the speaker in. So yeah, what I've got on order is the Geiger counters and like radiation detection equipment, just to go over that quickly. This has turned up. I've got that German one, I think it's an ionization chamber with a beta bit coming. That should hopefully turn up next week if it doesn't turn up tomorrow. I've got a CDV-715 turning up, which is the model of this that just has an ion chamber on it for gamma radiation. I've got, if they put the order through, because again, it's something I've had to inquire on because I don't know, some cesium-137 coming as a gamma check source, so I can actually get gamma things like the Polish radiation alarm to trip. It's only 0.25 microcurie, so don't worry about that. And what I've also got is that big Fiestaware thing coming. And what was the other thing I ordered? Oh yeah, a turn bank, like an old radium thing for an aircraft, because I found one for like €60 rather than most of them being like $150, £150. But yeah, the thing is with this, I think this is a very good unit. I think it's just a shame they put such a high voltage probe in it, because this is really good for low sensitivity stuff, as in, it's always taking background readings and it's very, very accurate on low level readings. But what they ended up doing later is putting a different tube in it, which was lower voltage, so therefore goes up to higher radiation levels. And it's like times 10 on this scale. So basically it starts off at 0 to 5 millirontgen and goes up to 500 millirontgen. And some other people have actually put, customized Soviet tubes to fit it. Yeah, exactly, hype. Yeah, and then they made custom tubes to fit it that, where they just literally got the Russian tubes from Russian Geiger counters, adapted it to fit into here and lower the voltage. And then they got the Russian ones where, you could go from whatever it was to 5 Rontgen on the times 10 scale. And then you just like print out a custom thing and put it on the thing so you can see it. But yeah, the weird thing is with the US ones is at the end of the Cold War, they had a really, really good one. But sadly, I was talking about it with people on the Discord. It's the one that does, I think, 0.01 millirontgen all the way up to 10,000 Rontgen per hour, I think it is. And it's a digital display, but it's actually an old-fashioned classic Geiger unit just with a digital display. So you get like a really accurate reading. I think it says once you go beyond 1,000 Rontgen, it's not going to give you a precise reading anymore because of, oversaturation of a Geiger tube. But other than that, yeah, it's good. Anyway, so let's go back to the speaker before I forget. So I'll turn it on. But as I said, it will probably make a horrible buzzing noise. I wonder if that's with the magnets on the back affect it making a buzzing noise, because obviously the person. Oh no, it doesn't. Because I just tried putting it on without that turned on, so it's not that. But yeah, anyway, it makes an annoying buzzing noise like that when this is plugged in there. I don't think there's any way I can tighten that up anymore in case that's what's. But yeah, that's the noise it makes now. That obviously oversaturates it. If we go to the 10 times scale, hopefully you can sort of see that on there. Needle still off the chart because this doesn't have a 0 button like the Soviet ones. I tell you what, let's just go to X100 straight away. Oh, you still have to wait for the needle to move back. But yeah, it makes a really cool noise. No, right, with the MS. Right, I don't have the DP66 anymore anyway, as I've said, because Bart, because like where it broke and the wiring inside, I gave it to Bart and I said, you know, if he could solder it, he can keep it because it also frees up a load of space. Now I've got the DP75. I don't really have a use for a DP66 anymore. I mean, I'd still like one, but it's just the space factor, really. And because I'm not really qualified to do it, I'd rather give it to somebody who really wanted a Geiger counter so they can repair it and have a working one than, you know, just not have one. Yeah, exactly, Richard. Sadly, though, well, sadly, it might be reassuring for a lot of people. As I said, it's only a 0.25 microcurie one, which means in terms of radiation, I think it's about 800 milliroentgen per hour, like right next to it, and then it obviously fades pretty quickly to radiation. I'll try and catch up with comments in a second for anybody I've missed while I was doing the Geiger counter. So in regards to like how efficient it is or whatever, I saw in America that you could actually buy up to 10 microcuries without any sort of license, which is, I think, 36 Roentgen per hour or 32 Roentgen per hour, something like that. It would really depend on the quality of the artificial fur, Dr. Terminator show. Very good artificial fur would be better than natural fur. Probably cheaper stuff, not. Well, I know old cathode ray tube televisions gave off a bit of X-rays, which is why there's so much leaded glass in them. Sadly, I can't show you because it's quite deep in that storage box now, but the TV Mike gave me to dismantle, you can see how much lead they've put in some of the bits of the CRT like casing. But that's because CRT TVs run at like 25,000 volts, don't they? 35,000 volts because of the big flyback transformers in them. Regularly, you can't get a CRT to give off X-rays. Hype was on about that because he explained why night vision didn't. Also, if somebody asked earlier about night vision, at the moment, I've got the little modern Russian one. Is if Hype's still on, he'll know the names of them. Is that the NZT36? I need to actually do a video on them. The good thing is today, the thing actually came that lets me, you know, mount cameras to night vision. I've got the Russian ones. We don't know what they are, but they're very good for what it is. But it's just a monocular. I've got the Night Fox. I've got the FLIR, but sadly, I don't have the PNVs anymore because obviously B-Store, because he only didn't get very many of in. He said, you know, would it be okay if he could sell them again? And I just said, sure. You know, because the thing was that, again, they're taking up space as much as I really like them. I want to get some in the future, or ideally, you know, like a Gen 2 equivalent of them at some point, but that's not going to be here for a while yet. But yeah, out of all of them, PNV 57Es were the coolest. Out of practicality, that unknown Russian one I've got is probably the most practical just because it fits in the pocket and its light amplification is just as good as the PNV 57s were. But yeah, when that thing you've sent me comes, Hype, the laser thing, I can test it with the Soviet monocular one, not the Soviet monocular. Oh, I've also got the one that takes a camera lens, haven't I? The Colossus or whatever it's called, Cyclops. But yeah, I'll definitely be able to figure out a way that I can look through night vision and shoot and hopefully get some good footage. Because, I mean, obviously, yeah, it would have been easier with the head-mounted stuff, but I'm sure I can actually get one of those to kind of just sit in front of my eye. But yeah, I can at least film through the night vision scopes properly now. I'll test that out when it gets dark tonight, actually, and put some things on Discord for you to see. Because, yeah, that thing came, the one you recommended. Both my China Post parcels came within like 2 days of each other that had been delayed for ages. I wonder if customs were sitting on them. So, yeah, the the camera mount thing for the phone with the night vision. That came, I think it was yesterday. And today the water purification kit came, you recommended. Like, you know, the Chinese Army filter kit or whatever it was. Yeah, I probably would like Squad, but at the moment I'm trying to just get around to, you know, playing a lot of games on my Steam library I already have, rather than buying more games that just sit there and I never get around to playing. Right, epic fail animation. You missed a Geiger counter, Shackleton. Would you like me to get it back out for you in a second? I just thought of something really funny saying that of the Geiger counter. As I've said before, Grinny, that sign is from eBay. Let me see if I can find you one for sale, because it's probably easier if I give you the link, isn't it, rather than actually just trying to what's it? Yeah, I'm sure I can get some good videos though. So thank you for that, IR laser. And it's also the Geiger counter you sent me, isn't it? The thing is, I think I probably mentioned it to you. The tube in this one is actually really good. I think it's a Chinese, like, domestic, like, licensed copy of one of the modern Russian tubes, from what I could gather reading online about the info on them. But yeah, it's kind of crazy that you've got a tube in here that is very good for low to mid accuracy on readings, yet this only lets you go to 99.99. And I actually read all the manual before throwing the packaging away for this, and it does say max reading 99.99. Yes, short glass tube. It's a similar size to the SOEX one. I've taken the SOEX one out. This will horrify some people, but where I've gotten really into Geiger counters, and because the SOEX was getting less and less accurate as I think this tube was wearing out, and it was designed to be not easily replaceable, of course, because, you know, modern electronics, I've now used the SOEX as a testing Geiger counter. So I can put croc clips on it, attach any Geiger tube I want, turn it on, and, you know, see what the readings the SOEX displays. But yeah, if the SOEX was brand new, I obviously would not have done that. It's just I've done so many videos of it, and this tube was getting a bit shit. So I assume it was a tube going rather than one of the other bits of electronics. But yeah, if anybody's interested, you can see it's a bit dented as well, this tube now, due to age, I guess, and removing it, because they're pretty weak bits of metal in here. If it wants to focus, come on, autofocus, focus. I've not got a face here now. There we go. Oh, and it's on my eyes again. Yeah, that's what I think, Hype. I've also, what I've bought is one of those build your own Geiger counter kits. I don't know if it comes pre-assembled, but they have the same tube in as well. Yeah, that's probably a good point now. Yeah, if it's had a dent, it might have leaked over time. Yeah, they're making it less and less accurate on readings. But yeah, anyway, Shackleton wants to see the Geiger counter. So it's in the same color, weirdly, as this mug. So don't forget I have merch if you want to buy some merch and support me, or you can support me via Super Chat or Patreon. But I just thought I'd shout that out because I've been spending so much on Geiger counters recently, as well as buying that brand new camera like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I need to be quite careful now, although I'm not being careful with spending money for YouTube stuff, because it's, you know, when I need to probably just ban myself from going on eBay for a while, I think, because at the moment it's look up something, spot something I really like, buy it, then spot something else I really want, buy it. So yeah, I think with Christmas coming up, I need to give myself a break from buying Milsurp for a while. Right, let me have a bit more coffee and I will show you the CDM. That's good to depress humanity. Sadly, a lot of people see that video and then say, but will this work on, you know, X mask, or will it work on Y mask? That's the only reason I redid the cleaning video of the GP5, because so many people come on that video and go, will it work with GP5? And I got sick of saying yes. So it was kind of a containment video, you know, so people wouldn't constantly ask about it. Right. So actually, I tell you what, if I move the chair, I can put this here. I know it's going to be a bit zoomed out because it's there, but with that box there, I can actually just put it there and you can see it in frame. So let's test the gamma readings of my thorium extract. I should tell you what, before I plug that speaker in, let's just see if I can get that as tight as possible there, just in case that's where some of that audio crackling is coming from. Well, not crackling, you know, the noise. That's still not fixed now, is it? Because obviously the speaker doesn't do it if it's, you know, plugged in on its own. But it does when it's on there, which is quite irritating. Is it? How close it is to that metal thing there? It might just be all the current going through the Geiger counter, I expect. But if you want to see what the gamma reading off, I'll show you my extracted thorium. Now, where did I put that? Oh dear. Yeah, I am turning into nuclear Boy Scout, aren't I? Extracted thorium. It will be in a DP66 bag with the strontium 90. I'll show you the strontium 90 on it in a second as well, because that's funny, but I'm not going to damage a tube by basically keeping the strontium on there. So, oh no, I lied. It's not in there. Okay, hang on, let me just flick this off a second because the speaker's annoying me. Right. Strontium 90, where did I put you? Oh, I know where it is. I put it next to the decimeter pen in here. Not strontium 90. No, I know what the strontium 90 is. I haven't lost that. I was on about the thorium. I've always found them interesting, Beeben, as in radiation type stuff. It's just that recently, because I'm like doing 2 jobs essentially, you know, I've had a bit more money to spend on them, and you know, it's kind of one of those things that when you get into them and start reading into them, it then sometimes snowballs into you getting more and more into them, to the point where you're going on people's videos to see if they're actually accurately talking about the stuff, you know. So yeah, there's my extracted thorium dust. So in here we have about, and obviously very bad if you breathe this in, what Iron Man was saying earlier, about if you're still on Iron Man, if you inhale radioactive particles or eat them, it will depend on what the half-life is, and you know, depends on what type of isotope is, and if it gets stuck in your body or comes out. But yeah, generally very bad, much smaller quantities of radiation. You know, I'll need to open it again when I fill more up, but I do that with a respirator on, and it's done outside, you know, not in the house where I'm going to spill it. But yeah, so as you can see, it's pretty much exactly 3 mil in there at the moment of thorium. Is it thorium trioxide it's called? Let me see if I can move my head out the frame and then put that there so it focuses. So I thought I'm blocking my face from the camera, but it still doesn't want to focus. But anyway, yeah, so how I make these, there's a video explaining it on YouTube, and I'm not going to do a video showing this just because it's a bit dodgy in the sense that, you know, I'm sure some idiot will do it, not do it correctly, kill themselves, and then I'll get the blame. Or, you know, there's already somebody who's done the video quite well as well. So, you know, there's no point really redoing a video somebody else has done, because that just seems stupid to me, especially, you know, if it's a good enough video. Because the thing is with their video is as well that because it's filmed relatively well, you know, the lighting's good, they explain what they're doing properly, they explain safety precautions like wearing a respirator, you know, and all that sort of stuff. All right, Nick, if that's how your name's pronounced. The mantles, I'll try them on that because it's actually accurate. I'll show you what a mantle is compared to it. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me finish my coffee before I even start touching more radioactive items, just so I don't have to, you know, worry that, oh, if I drop something in there, like paranoia. Right, so with the thorium, let's have a look, see what the reading is on this, see if the camera's gone up at all since being next to this. Probably ever so slightly, but the issue with these is unless you've got something quite hot because it's in Rontgens, you're not going to see big movement. Yeah, beta is still pretty bad though, Shackleton. The reason is because alpha, beta, and gamma have different levels of penetrative power, and I'm going to go back to mantles, by the way, I'll just explain this. They do a thing where they basically explain it like you have 3 cookies. The cookies are radioactive. One emits gamma, one emits beta, one emits alpha. So the danger is, obviously, you can't, for whatever reason, throw away all 3 cookies. You have to eat one, sit on one, and throw one away. So what you do is you eat the gamma cookie, because it can penetrate through you, not all of it is being trapped inside your body. You throw the beta away, because the beta is mildly penetrative. You know, it does a similar sort of damage to alpha if it gets in you. The alpha one you sit on, because if you're sitting on it, it's not going to get through your clothes. So yeah, the thing is, alpha is easily blocked. That's why it's the most dangerous if it's inside you, because all of your organs around it is what it's going into. Whereas with gamma, only a little bit of the energy is getting deposited into you, as far as I understand it, when it shoots through you. It's why kind of 1 Rontgen of gamma per hour is probably less dangerous than 1 Rontgen of something else if it's gone into the body. Well, a lot less dangerous. But anyway, let's take some radiation readings then. I'll do it to start with without that probably on, just because, like I said, until I figure out how to set this up with some sort of speaker that has enough power but doesn't make a whining noise. Yeah, the corium. That's what the elephant's bit is, corium. Right, so I'll show you different lamp mantles. So this is the first thorium lamp mantle I ever bought, and this is the most radioactive out of all of them. These are the Tilly mantles, which I've been burning down to make this, which is obviously pure thorium in there, essentially. Well, it's probably got a bit of ash or whatever in it, but it's mostly thorium in here. So you'll see on the concentrations how it differs with the Geiger. All right, cool. I will. I'll look at that hype as soon as I go off. But as I said, I need to be really careful what I'm spending now, just because, you know, like I said, I've bought so many Geiger counters recently, and I keep going, all right, this will be the last thing I buy, and then I've been doing it non-stop. I'll have a look, see what the price is and all that. But okay, so let's do the readings. So we'll first go for this one because it's the least radioactive, this style. I think this is about 15 to 20 counts per second, but we'll see what this says anyway. Did you want to know gamma or beta and gamma? For whoever asked the question, I'll just try and get them to answer back before I carry on with this. Probably not a good idea to keep holding this in my hand, but it isn't all that radioactive. So yeah, is somebody going to answer that question? Both. Right, okay, both. So it's probably going to go off the scale on the first one anyway. But anyway, let me do that then. So what we'll do, I'll get the probe. I'll open that up. I'll turn the speaker on briefly in a moment, so despite the annoying buzzing, you actually hear something. Right, I'll just wrap it around the probe like that. So on 1x, it's got to 100 counts per minute at the moment. Just going up beyond that maybe to 0.2 millirontgen. Tell you what, if I fold it like that, let's just say I do that, just so it sits directly over the beta window of the whole thing. Yeah, that's more radioactive like that, because obviously it's reading more beta from it. So that's nearly going off the scale, but not quite. It's on there, because I don't think you'll be able to see it very well on the webcam. 0.4 millirontgen to like 0.45 millirontgen, almost 300 counts per minute. Oh, it's gone to there now. But it's kind of, you know, doing that, because I guess it's not completely consistent decay, I'd imagine. So this one folded gets to about 300. Now, I know with this one, it's going to go off the scale, but let me just show you. Let me fold it again so it fits over there properly. Yeah, there we go, off the scale. If I go to the X10, it should stop on that one. But yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know. I assume this has more thorium in because it's a finer mesh. Although I know pretty much all the thorium lamp mantles are pretty much 99% thorium, from what I understand. It just depends on how fine they are with, you know, then the quantity of thorium. But I wouldn't burn this one down because it's, you know, not one I've seen loads of. So, right. If we put it on this one, I'll just put the speaker on for you. That's about 2 millirontgen per hour, and obviously 100 clicks times, or 100 counts times 10, so 1,000, roughly 1,000 counts per minute, that one, and what was I saying? About 2 millirontgen per hour. Right, now this is the one you'll find interesting, probably. The thorium dioxide, whatever it's called, I'll just hold it like, actually, it's probably quite a good length for the beta window, isn't it? Like that. That's why I'm gonna. It's be good when this is fully filled, so I don't have to be. Right, needle's still moving at the moment. Just got to 0.1, so that's 1 millirontgen on the scale because we're on the times 10. It's stopping in a pretty similar place to that other lamp mantle. Let me just do this a bit. Good thing it's an airtight lid on there, eh? Or else that might have been a bad idea. But yeah, anyway, let's now do that. Problem is, some of the dust in there doesn't really want to move very well. tell you what, just to be safe, I'm going to take that off and reseat it, just so I know. There we go, that it's on flush, right. What I'm just trying to do is get it, there we go, evenly across the bottom. Right, needle's moving faster this time. All right, thanks, Beeben, but as said, I do need to be careful, so I'd almost be grateful at this point if somebody else did grab it, but yeah, I will wash, well, everybody says wash your hands on these streams. The count's still pretty close to 100. Let me just do that. Pretty much at the bottom here now, yeah. I imagine this will be lower because there'll be less next to the beta window. Yeah, I'll tell you what, that isn't showing up as much. Playing with a Geiger counter at the moment with radioactive samples on the live stream. So anyway, let me close the beta window now. There we go. So it's only gamma now. And what I'll do is just show you if this is put flush against there now, the gamma readings from this are actually pretty decent. So bear in mind I'm on the ×1 scale, but on gamma, it's getting to almost 100 counts a minute on gamma alone. Yeah, we're pretty much at the 100 counts per minute mark, just to show you. So yeah. I will actually wash my hands. But yeah, I'll be back in a moment. But yeah, there you go, if you're interested in those. There's no legally about it, is there? You're not forced here. Yep, I'll do that after the stream. I'm not going to do it now. I'll actually have to use a cloth to wipe that down because you don't want to put water on a 900 volt network tube. That's why they have the condom things, isn't it? Like you were saying, for the Geiger counters, to the actual protect them from so you can just essentially dispose of a bag or whatever once you've had it over the probe. Yep. Hype showed me. I think it was Hype that showed me. It's the Czechoslovakian Geiger counter. Literally issued massive condoms with the kit that you put on the probe. You know, you had to roll it down the probe. That's literally what it was. A lot of other nations just literally issued plastic bags a bit like these to put over, but anyway, that will do for now because this bag is a pain in the ass to do up. All of them but one in there are actually in individually sealed like plastic bags, so that's not a problem. The issue is obviously, you know, don't have open thorium lamp mantles everywhere and then be handling them, because I think the big danger there is like where a little bit would just probably break off and then get on your hands when you eat or whatever. All right, waiting for people to chat now. It's a bit annoying earlier in the stream. When I was trying to answer like a couple of questions, you had everybody saying hello and asking a different question. I couldn't keep up with them. Now it's gone quiet. To be honest, for the people going spider on the wall, the drill hole in the wall up there above the thing looks a bit like a spider, but it's not a spider. There's like old bits of blue tack I can never fully get off up there as well. All right, Joseph, or Joseph, however your name's pronounced. No, I didn't really do anything for Halloween. I put a Halloween video on, but it was just kind of a Night Vision Blair Witch tribute because I wanted to do originally a Buffalo Bill type thing, but that ended up being too difficult to film. All right. What I might do, although if we're saying it on here, it might encourage somebody else to do it. What I'll do then is put a bid on at the last minute, I think. All right, cheers. Thank you. Yeah, I'll definitely, yeah, if you're doing that, I'll definitely put a bid on. But yeah, you didn't see a graphite spider because it's not there. Yeah, I'm good, Deutsch. I was just playing with some radioactive stuff. Annoyingly, my German Geiger counter, well, it's not a Geiger counter actually, I reckon it's a ionization chamber with a beta bit at the bottom. That's not come yet, but I imagine it will probably come next week because when I last checked the shipping stuff on it, it was, you know, about to leave Germany kind of thing, where it had gone through like several different sort of postal destinations and then, you know, like kind of at international carrier. There's nothing wrong with doing that, Defiant Shackleton, because that's how eBay is set up. You know, it makes sense to do that. I mean, because eBay auctions work differently from a normal auction. Obviously, a normal auction, you have the thing where going once, going twice, you know, at the highest current price. With eBay, it's on a time limit. So it makes sense to watch an item and then wait till like the last 10 seconds before you put your bid in with the max bid you want to pay, because otherwise you can just drive the price up early on. I mean, I definitely think it's wrong if you've got some sort of script thing that can do it for you, because that seems quite exploitative, because, you know, you can probably get that to do it faster than the person can. But that's like the risk you take, because obviously if you leave it too long or your connection drops out as doing that, then, you know, it can hurt your chances. That's a good price one. Yeah, as I'm saying, I don't ever use scripts or anything. I'm just saying how I do it is, yeah, just wait till it's at the last bit of time and then sort of go ooh, 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 and then click. Because I've had some people come on my videos before and complain like, "Oh, I was going to buy this," and then somebody, you know, bid snipe me at the last minute. I was like, "Oh, what was the listing of?" You know, when it was like milsurp stuff, and quite often it's me. But yeah, I'm saying I just wait to the end because the problem is, although I sometimes do bid on things earlier on, just more as like a reminder to put a higher bid on later. Sometimes the problem is I find is generally, yeah, if I put a bid on like of what I was actually willing to pay right from the get-go, quite often it will go to that price, somebody will go up, and then you think, do I then have to spend more than I originally wanted to? You know, in that regard. But yeah, you can't really win, can you? Whatever you do, somebody will blame you. So yeah, I don't even care really. But, yeah. So would you say, I know you said the Pulsar's a Gen 1 Plus, but would you say it's as good as like a primitive Gen 2, being a Gen 1 Plus? Because I suppose it's quite hard to define really of the gens, isn't it? Like how good some of them would be to some of the others. Because yeah, I'd say like when I used the PNV 57Es, they seemed almost Gen 2, even at a Gen 1 Plus, aren't they? And like that Russian one I've got is technically Gen 1, isn't it? But that again seems much better than a lot of other Gen 1s I've used. That's a But how would that work? Because was he bidding against himself then using it? That doesn't make sense to me. Or was it that he used one that put a value in right at the end, and then it wouldn't go for his max bid unless he's bidding against somebody else, would it? Okay, so you can't. So some stuff would look darker, but you can actually see stuff more clearly, as in make out what they are, kind of like the flares problem, where you can see somebody from across a field really easily because they glow bright. But if they're too far away, they're too pixelated to actually kind of see properly what they are. So it's that kind of problem, is it? If anybody was asking earlier how I got that, it was just because somebody on UK eBay was selling the complete kit. Just lucky, really, because again, I don't know if that stuff's milcert banned, because what I've actually done is somebody was selling one of those CDV 715s. What I'm just going to do is see on the tracking if that's actually left the US yet. Because if it's left the US, I know it's still at Austin, Texas distribution center, but because it was one where the seller guaranteed, if you didn't get it, you'd get a refund. So yeah, I thought I might as well try and buy one. I suppose that's a good point, because I've got what I need to do is definitely find where I've stored those IR bulbs, because somewhere I've got an IR bulb for the really good flashlight I bought off Mike, which is like one of the zoomable ones, and it's quite a high output. And when I use that with the Night Fox and you use the zoom, you could see about 400 yards, and I definitely imagine the Gen 1 Plus pulsar thing is a lot better than the Night Fox in terms of what it can amplify. Wow. Yes, the thing is, it seems with a lot of the US stuff like they don't actually know themselves what's covered under it. Because I've heard countless stories of people saying online that, people from outside the US have ordered the exact same things, whether they be civil defense things, milcert things. Some get through, some don't. And it seems like sometimes customs don't even know when the things like that should be allowed to be sent out under ITAR or whatever it's called. Like something, sometimes they'll actually say, "Oh no, that you're not allowed to send that," because the person doesn't actually know the rules good enough themselves. But yeah, it's hard to say. That's the reason in general I just try and avoid buying surplus from the US full stop if I can help it. Not that I'd have any problem from buying from the US. It's just with all those sort of ITAR rules or whatever it's called. Is it like international trade, something or other on arms regulations? Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, yes, definitely. I'll do it then. But that is going to have to be the last thing I get, right? It's going to have to be, because, like I've said, this month I've, like with the camcorder, all these radiation detecting things I've been buying, check sources. Because yeah, the cesium 137, if they do actually end up saying I can have it and sending it, that is not cheap. The cesium 137 ended up being, I think it was like £120, because annoyingly, in America, if you're buying it, where they've got different rules on it than the EU and the UK. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, buy once, cry once. You're right, because, yeah, that's the thing I've said loads of times, where I keep regretting, that I bought something, not buying something, like when there were the Set Me Model Ls on D&B Militaria for like 200 odd quid or whatever it was, or 400 odd quid, and they had some G3s on there, like in a really cool kind of like, Rhodesian bush wall style. I don't think they were Rhodesian ones, but, like where they'd been sold to some country and they'd painted their own camo on it. Looked a bit naff, but, and they were selling them for 200 quid because obviously a lot of people just wanted the G3s that looked totally original furnishing. But yeah, I might have to save that somewhere, Hype. So whenever I keep going, should I not, should I? The thing is, like, technically, obviously, I can afford to. It's just, obviously, I try and budget properly. That's the thing, because I know so many people that will just manage to spend their entire works pay slip within, like, 3 days of getting it. Yeah, I suppose it's Christmas coming up, isn't it? And I'm sure a lot of my relatives will end up sending me money in. Oh, right. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Hype. Because you've convinced me. I'm going to buy it now. Then it might come next week. Right, let me just buy it now. The seller's not got any feedback, so hopefully it's all right. But obviously I've got eBay protection, haven't I, on here? So with postage, it's £233. Right, buy. I'll just hide that so my address and like payment details don't reflect. But yeah, right. Hopefully it all goes all right because the seller has no feedback. But yeah, I've bought it. Well, the thing is, with eBay, you're guaranteed. If it doesn't turn up, whatever, or they send you a fake, it's guaranteed. But, What, only saying 20? What do you mean only saying £20? What? Only saying £20? That doesn't make sense to me, even. If you mean the price of buying it now compared to bidding, yeah, that saves you money. But the thing is, if you bid and somebody else bids, it can potentially go higher. Oh, right. Well, I didn't see them too late. You know, we'll just. But the thing is, I've got full buyer protection because it's eBay. I've never ever bought anything off of eBay, and if I've had a problem, never been able to, not get a refund. But yeah, don't make me paranoid now, Beaven. That's not a good thing to do. If you get a crony, Richard, I'd advise you not to get the model I got. The one I bought was just like the crony, like the one that it's called crony, like the company. They're kind of the most famous chronograph company. And it was like their bottom end model. And it's a bit shit because it has such a small window you have to shoot through to get it to get a reading properly. So yeah, personally, I'd rather have the money, to be honest, Hype, because that way I can at least wear it with a headband for now, and then I can figure out what sort of helmet later on I want to, do it with. That would just work out better for me if that's all right with you. But yeah. Right. Yes, lightning, but it depends what sort of scenario. Because obviously if there's nothing involving radiation, then they don't do anything. Right, cool, will do, thank you. And then what I'll do is if it ends up, like the seller was a scammer or whatever, I'll end up just getting another one as soon as I find one for like under 300 quid or whatever, or I'll just spend up to 300 quid. But I'll do that as soon as the stream ends. I was going to get the link, wasn't I, really early on in the stream for that, and I didn't. All right, give me a minute. If I type gas mask sign in, I'll see if there's still any more there, because that's literally all I typed in when I found it. There's a yellow aluminium sign that's a different icon, but still looks quite cool, from the US. I think that's kind of like a custom done one, but it's pretty good, well done. Annoyingly, I don't think there's any more of that one. I guess the seller sold all the ones they had. But yeah, it was just like called Warsaw Pact gas mask sign. The seller also had like tanks crossing, like explosives. They're like the ones from the actual kind of firing ranges, I think. But yeah. Yeah, you are, Rich. I mean, what I have to hope is that, as far as you know, Hype, are there any knockoffs of the Pulsar? Like ones that look pretty much the same on the outside, but have a much worse tube in it? But the thing is, it's not unreasonable with PayPal, not PayPal, eBay, because I know this from experience that you'll get people that just have something expensive they want to sell, so they make an account so they can sell that item. All right, good. So as long as it looks like the pictures, it's not going to be like some knockoff brand of it. So yeah. But obviously I'll be able to test it, won't I, in the dark to see how well it works and what the screen looks like. And it would be pretty obvious, obviously, if a much lower quality optic had been put in it. I assume that was all listed, wasn't it, as like fully working and everything. I'm just going to read the page again. Condition is new, unused. Yeah. So yeah, they're linking to a site where it's 284 quid. So yeah, that is a good bit of there. But yeah, how long have they had the account as well? Let's have a look. Oh, they've got another one as well on there listed. What was the Pulsar Edge like? Because that one they've got on there for a better price. Oh, not a better price. Oh wait, no, it's 350, isn't it? Because yeah, that's the reserve bid. But never mind, because that's like a Binoc one rather than a Minoc. But yeah, never mind. I'll go with the Minoc so I can have tactical cyborg vision. At some point, I might stalker. The issue is that when I live stream video games, less people watch them, which means YouTube then punishes my channel in a sense because less people have watched. So it becomes a negative feedback loop. So the thing I notice quite a lot with YouTube, if I put a video on that does particularly well for some reason, nobody complains for a while that they haven't got notifications and all the views go up across all the board on my videos. When you have the opposite happen, it goes the other way. And I think it's their stupid algorithms of, like, we want to promote things that make us the most money or whatever. So in a sense, if you get not popular enough with one of your uploads, they sort of sabotage your channel. Yeah, Spazianis are really nice. I really like mine. It's one of my favorite masks now. I still prefer my CT12 than that, but the Scott M98 and the Spaziani are probably the best panoramic masks I have. I say the Scott M98 is a bit better, but the Spaziani does have a wider field of view on the panoramic lens. Yeah, that was the interesting thing I was hearing about with thermal cameras. Is the reason thermal cameras are still so expensive is they need a really specialist glass in them. So it doesn't block, obviously, all the long-wave infrared from coming through, because obviously glass massively reflects it. So that makes a lot of sense now why they're so expensive, because obviously they can mass-produce the technology inside them quite easily, but the issue is the sheer value of the specialist glass they need. Yeah, that's the other problem with Stalker, is the crashes. The crashes aren't as bad now. When I first got this PC, despite it being a really good new PC, Stalker was really, really bad at crashing on it, like as in Shadow of Chernobyl, Call of Pripyat. Actually, Shadow of Chernobyl was fine, but Call of Pripyat and Sky, if you put them in DirectX 10 or 11, they didn't run well at all. Well, they ran really well until they crashed. And it was obviously like bad drivers. Since more and more of the AMD drivers have been coming out for the 5700 XT, it's got a lot more stable. But yeah, it still doesn't seem to be as stable as it was on my old GPU. So yeah, what would be ideal is if somebody manages to make a synthetic one that's good for mass production so they can get massive money on the royalties. But it means thermal cameras can be mass produced. Anything we want to talk about, Sam's Collectibles? Do you collect things then? Judging by your username, what do you collect? So I've been getting more into Geiger counters again recently. So yeah, there's the old V-700 6B. Interestingly, something I was reading a massive guide on these, which was really well put together. And they said the 6Bs only ever take 2 batteries. So look at this one. It says it's a 6B on there at the side, model number 6B. So it says it's a 6B there. That's definitely a 6B. But this one has 4 batteries. So I reckon it probably just depends on which company manufactured it. Yeah, if you look there, 4 D cells. So yeah, this one is definitely 4 D cells. Because from what I heard, it was the 6. A lot of people saying 6As take 4 D cells, then the 6Bs, have 2 D cells, but this one definitely has 4 D cells in it. That's cool. Ocean liner stuff sounds interesting, just because it's not like something I've ever collected. Yeah, it also could be more efficiency at lower reading, because obviously if you've got more batteries in there, I imagine it's better with the step-up circuitry. It doesn't need to do as much work to get the voltage high enough. Because, yeah, the weird thing is this is a 900-volt Geiger counter. Most of the Soviet ones, I think, are like 300 to 500 volts, like most of the Warsaw Pact ones. But, yeah, this is 900 volts. Because, yeah, the kind of counterintuitive thing with Geiger counters, the higher the voltage, the better they are at low-level readings, not high-level readings. So, in theory, something like what do you call them, ionization chambers, lots of them just take 1 battery, and then they can go up to the hundreds of Rontgens. Shadow of Chernobyl, I'll have to have a look at the cover again. Isn't it like a guy's face on the cover for Shadow of Chernobyl? Yeah, it is. Or do you mean the guy in the background, or what? Because the guy in the background is going to be too low res for me to even see. Or do you mean the clear sky one? Oh, I see the one you mean. It's the one that I think they used for both Shadow of Chernobyl and Clear Sky. It's a GP4 as far as I'm aware, because it's got that greenish colour to it, where the Polish ML isn't that green. Although I think it's got like some sort of side valve on. The thing is with a lot of the artwork and like in-game masks in Stalker is they're kind of based off a real mask, but they've modified them. And that's not a copyright thing. I just think it was to make them look a bit more unique or whatever. But yeah, it's a GP4 basically. Because again, the problem is in Stalker, the Snorks have like a Shum 41, or GP5, Shum 62 style hood mask, and it's definitely like a rubber hood on it. But it actually has like the bottom bit of a GP4, like how the valve and hose connect, not how the GP5. If it's B-Store, I said he's allowed to use my stuff because he sent me a load of free stuff before and that. If not, well, I can't really do much about it, and I, in all honesty, don't care, as long as they're not claiming that I'm personally plugging their sale of filters. But FP5 filters I do like, as I've said quite a few times. But yeah, personally, I don't really sell anything on eBay. I mean, obviously, if I need to get some money, I could sell stuff on eBay, but most of the time I just use eBay for buying. My dad uses eBay for selling stuff, and I help him do that if he has like technical questions, because he's quite a boomer when it comes to electronics. But he just started a while ago selling off all his old stuff, to make room because he really doesn't use it anymore. But yeah, so other than helping my dad sell stuff, I never sell stuff. But right, I'll be going off in about 5 minutes because I know I've been on the stream for about an hour and I've got a bit of a sore throat at the moment. I think I've caught something because I've been having like stomach aches the last couple of days, which isn't colitis based. I know that. Stomach aches, feeling a bit nauseous, headaches, sort of sneezy, runny nose, and sore throat. So, and a bit of a cough. So I think, yeah, I've caught something. But it's not as bad today as it was yesterday. So I'm hoping it's one of those, it hits you quite hard on the first day ones and goes quite quickly. GSM obviously will get better. Obviously, if somebody wants to make me paranoid now, they're like, oh, it's because you've got some radioactive isotopes in you. But no, obviously, I think it's just because a lot of people I know have been ill recently. And I said the other day, I went, touch wood, I've already had what you've got. Cheers, Hype. Because, what was I going to say? Because, yeah, I'd had like a previous stomach bug type thing like the week before, but I think it was just something similar and not the same one, because now I've obviously got this one. Yeah, Fisherman's Friends were my favourite of all those sort of ones, even though most people seem to hate Fisherman's Friends. But I suppose it's because they have a really strong kind of distinctive taste. It's a bit like Marmite. What, like, chewing gum, right. I find what helps with a sore throat, actually, is generally drinking enough water, but not drinking so much you actually dry your mouth out from flushing too much down. And what was the other thing? Like avoiding sort of stuff that's quite acidic, like orange juice and stuff like that. Yeah, so unluckily, yeah, like you, Rich, although I didn't feel ill all that long last week, I must have obviously caught something, or it might have been the week before last week. I think it was 2 weeks ago. But yeah, like caught something then, got better within a few days, then caught something again. But that's, yeah, typical bullshit. Right, so what I'm going to have to say now is a rule, but this will only be till about January, is now I've bought those night vision goggles, please do not share any cool other Miltech stuff with me, because, I need to save some money. That's opinion-based, JTP guy. In terms of game mechanics, definitely not, because, because Call of Pripyat was the third game, they'd refined a lot of things by then and ironed out a lot of the bugs, even though there's still a load of bugs in Call of Pripyat. In terms of story and atmosphere, a lot of people prefer it, but that's, entirely opinion-based, really. Right, thanks, Hype. I mean, obviously, if somebody spots like a £5 item, that's really, really cheap and think, can you do a video on this? Then I don't mind that. But it's just, when it becomes lots of accumulative, expensive items that people keep going, oh, have you seen this Geiger counter? Have you seen this? Hype will tell you, even though I'm the one who's just bought it. Actually, I can look at my eBay purchase history, can't I? That's the easiest way of doing it. Purchase history. It was Night Vision Pulsar Challenger GS 1X20 device, infrared light monocular NV scope. So a load of that's keywords, but Pulsar Challenger GS 1X20, I guess, is the thing. Oh, good, it's not zoomed in, is it? If it's a 1x20, which means you can walk around with it on more easily. So yeah, £233 it was of the postage. Yeah. You on about the X50 or whatever it's called, Chung? Because Hype's told me about that, and it looks really impressive, but I bet that's something you can't get at the moment easily. Ah, nice, yeah. I'm sure I'll be really happy with it, but yeah, it's just, you know, one of those things of, like you're saying, buy once, cry once. You know, don't buy, keep kicking yourself over it. But yeah, cool. So yeah, for a Gen 1 unit, it's like really bloody good then. Oh, you probably said, didn't you, like for a Gen 1 Plus, it is the best Gen 1 Plus, but yeah. Right, we'll have to all hope it turns up and it's not damaged, and I think it still said it's in its packaging, but on the listing. At the moment, my favourite helmet's the Mark 7, just because I really get on with the liner, and it offers a pretty good protection level. But if I ended up ever getting a, what's it, essentially what the Mark 8, I know that's not the official name for it, but the revision helmet or whatever it's called, or the Cobra 2 or whatever it's called, or, you know, like the current helmet America uses made out of the thermoplastic stuff that's like milk cartons, essentially. But yeah, for now I'll just use it with a headband, and it looks a bit less weird with it if I'm walking around outside. Yep. Wow. Let's hope it's worked, Richard, because as I said, I always use Mike's links because I've got them bookmarked. But sometimes when I tell him all the stuff I've bought, for whatever reason, a load of it hasn't gone on there. Like some of the stuff, if I even buy stuff on the same day, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Americans. All right, cool. I'll do that at a later point, Chris, because as I said, at the moment I need to stop buying stuff. Just because, yeah, I've still got a few pending transactions coming out as well, you know, that don't even show my bank balance, and then they'll come out. But yeah, I'm just going to officially say, I'm going to say it on this stream. That's it for me now. Not spending any more. Only presents for other people at Christmas. But then, yeah, once I've had my pay slips for December, and we get into January. Well, yeah, that's where I got this new phone, because I was going to get this later in December, and then because it had been reduced to 140 quid on Black Friday, that's why I ended up getting a new phone, just because my old one was getting worse and worse and worse on the battery through all the recharging. Yeah, anyway, I'll wrap that stream up. I need to send Hype a message straight away, so I don't forget to do it. But yeah, thank you very much for that, Hype. I appreciate it. Because yeah, obviously that does take a bit of the chunk of pain away from it. And then obviously you can see videos, and you can see proper videos of that laser you sent me. Just stay safe, Chung, I'll say, because I don't want to get involved in any of the political stuff, obviously, with that. Because sometimes a lot of arguments start in the streams about that. But yeah, just stay safe is all I'll say. You know. But yeah. So happy Thanksgiving to all you Americans. Thank you, everybody else. This has been a good stream. I've not had loads of annoying questions on this one where people don't read what you've said and keep asking it again. But yeah, so I can definitely do some airsoft type things and other videos with the laser mount, which would be quite good with the IR night vision. But anyway, so thank you, everybody. Have a good evening. Obviously, as I stream now, I'm not going to be streaming later today. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to stream tomorrow. I don't know what time yet, though. I don't think I've got much on tomorrow. But the weekend, I'll obviously be working, but Sunday evening, I'll still probably stream. Anyway, thanks, everybody. I'll go off now, and I need to email Hype or message Hype. Right, see ya. Thanks, bye.